the complete guide to learning and speaking English with confidence. Hello and welcome, dear listener. Today, you and I are beginning a journey together. A journey of learning, of practice, of growth, and of building confidence in one of the most important skills of our time, speaking English. Whether you are sitting in your room with a notebook, walking on the street with your headphones, or maybe lying down after a long day and simply listening, I want you to know this. This time is for you. This podcast is not just about English. It is about you, your dreams, your confidence, and the way you see yourself in the world. So let's start with a question. Why do you want to learn English? For some of you, the answer might be career growth. Maybe you want a promotion, a new job, or to crack an interview. For others, it might be education, dreaming of studying abroad, joining an international course, or simply being able to understand your textbooks better. For some, it is about connection. You want to speak with friends, colleagues, or maybe even people online without hesitation. And for many, it is about confidence. Because deep inside, we all know that when you speak good English, people listen differently. They respect you, they take you seriously, and you feel stronger inside. But here is the truth. Most people don't fail because English is too difficult. They fail because they don't know how to learn it. They start with big energy but soon feel lost. They memorize grammar rules but cannot speak. They learn hundreds of words but forget them in real conversation. Does this sound familiar? If yes, don't worry. Because in this podcast, I will show you that English is not about fear, not about grammar books, not about confusion. English is about practice, about building habits, about confidence, and about enjoying the process. Think of it this way. A child does not learn a language by studying grammar books. A child learns by listening, by repeating, by speaking small words, by making mistakes, and by trying again and again. That is the same path for you. You don't need to be perfect to start. You need to start to become perfect. Now, let's talk about motivation. Because learning English is not just about vocabulary and grammar, it is about mindset. If your mind is strong, your English will improve. If your mind is weak, you will quit. So I want to tell you 3 important truths today. Truth number 1. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something. Imagine if a baby stopped walking after falling one time. Would anyone ever walk? No. Falling is part of walking. Mistakes are part of learning. Truth number 2. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Studying English for 10 hours in one day is not as powerful as studying 30 minutes every day for 30 days. Small steps every day create big results. Truth number 3. Your environment shapes your progress. If you only use your native language 24 hours a day, your English will not grow. You must create an English environment around you, even if people around you don't speak English. You can do this by listening to English podcasts, watching English videos, reading English books, or even talking to yourself in English. Now, let's go deeper into why English matters. English is not just a language, it is a key. A key that opens doors to better jobs, better education, more knowledge, more opportunities, and more connections. Out of the 7 billion people in the world, more than 1.5 billion speak English. That means when you speak English, you can connect with people from almost any country. Imagine traveling to a new country, meeting new people, and being able to talk confidently. Imagine going to an interview and answering every question in fluent English. Imagine standing in front of an audience and speaking without fear. That is the power of English. But, let's also be real. Learning English can sometimes feel hard. You may feel shy to speak. You may feel embarrassed when people laugh at your mistakes. You may feel slow when you cannot find the right word. You may even feel that others are better than you. But let me tell you this. Every fluent English speaker you see today was once a beginner like you. Every confident speaker once struggled. The difference is not talent, it is practice. The difference is not luck, it is consistency. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Not to me, not to your teacher, not to your family, but to yourself. Promise that you will not give up. Promise that you will practice every day, even if it is for 15 minutes. Promise that you will speak, even if you make mistakes. Promise that you will keep going, no matter how slow the progress seems. Because success in English, like in life, belongs to those who keep going. And remember this: English is not your goal. Confidence is your goal. Communication is your goal. Connection is your goal. English is simply the tool. Use it, play with it, enjoy it. Now, let me give you a simple exercise right now, while you are listening. Think about one simple sentence you can say about your day. For example, I am listening to this podcast. Now repeat it aloud. Don't worry if your pronunciation is not perfect. Just say it. Next, think of another sentence. I want to learn English. Say it aloud. Finally, one more. I will speak English with confidence. Say it with energy. Do you feel that little shift? That is the beginning of practice. Speaking out loud, even to yourself, is one of the most powerful ways to learn. Part 2. Hello again, my friends, and welcome back to this journey of learning and speaking English with confidence. In our last episode, we talked about the importance of English, the role it plays in our lives, and why it is so valuable for career growth, travel, and personal development. We also touched on motivation, on how you can remind yourself every day that English is not just a subject, it is a tool, a bridge, a superpower. Now, in this part, we are going to go deeper. We are going to talk about the common struggles people face when learning English. And, more importantly, we will discover how to overcome these struggles step by step. This is important because when you try to learn something new, you will face difficulties. But the truth is, those difficulties are not walls, they are doors. And when you learn how to open the doors, you keep moving forward. Let's begin with the first big challenge. 1. The fear of speaking in English. One of the most common struggles is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being laughed at, fear of not finding the right word. Many learners know some English, but when it comes time to actually speak, their tongue gets tied, their mind goes blank, and they freeze. Why does this happen? It happens because of two things: self-doubt and perfectionism. You doubt yourself. You think, what if I say something wrong? What if people don't understand me? And you also think you need to be perfect before you speak. But here is the truth. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time. Not even native English speakers. People make mistakes. They forget words. They use fillers like and So why should you expect yourself to be perfect? The way to overcome this fear is to start speaking little by little. Begin with short sentences. If you are in a shop, try saying, "How much is this?" If you are in the office, try saying, "I will do it now." The moment you use even small English sentences in real life, your confidence grows. Remember, confidence is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. And don't wait for the perfect day to speak. Don't say, "I will start speaking when I am fluent." Fluency will only come when you start speaking now. 2. The problem of forgetting words. Another big struggle learners face is forgetting vocabulary. You learn 10 new words today, but tomorrow you remember only 2. You feel frustrated, and you wonder, why can't I remember the words? The reason is simple: your brain remembers what it uses, not what it just sees. If you learn new words but never use them in a sentence, your brain will think they are not important, and it will throw them away. That is how memory works. So what is the solution? The solution is to use every new word at least 3 times. If you learn the word beautiful, don't just write it in your notebook. Say it aloud. This park is beautiful. Then text your friend. You look beautiful in this photo. Then write a note. The weather is beautiful today. When you use a word in different situations, your brain marks it as valuable, and you remember it for a long time. Another tip is to learn words in groups. Instead of learning random words, learn them in families. For example, if you learn the word run, also learn runner, running, ran. This way, you are not just learning a word, you are building a network of words. And a network is always stronger than a single point. 3. The challenge of grammar. Grammar. Many learners feel grammar is a mountain they can never climb. They worry about tenses, prepositions, articles, and sentence structures. And yes, grammar is important, but here is the secret. You do not need to master every grammar rule before you speak. Think about children. When children learn their first language, they don't study grammar books. They speak first, they make mistakes, and then slowly they learn the rules. You should do the same with English. Use simple grammar first. If you can say, I go to market yesterday, it is not 100% correct, but people will still understand you. And slowly, as you practice, you will learn to say, I went to the market yesterday. The key is not to stop speaking because of grammar fear. Keep speaking, keep writing, and let grammar improve naturally along the way. And if you want to improve grammar faster, focus on the most common tenses: present simple, past simple, and future simple. These 3 tenses cover 70% of daily conversations. 4. Lack of practice environment. Another common struggle is not having people to practice with. Many learners say, I want to speak English, but nobody around me speaks it. How can I practice? This is a real challenge, especially if you live in a place where English is not used daily. But here's the good news. In today's world, you don't need a classroom to practice. You have technology. You can record yourself speaking. You can talk to AI chatbots. You can join online English communities. You can even stand in front of a mirror and practice speaking. The important thing is not waiting for the perfect partner. You can be your own partner. If you see something around you, describe it in English. This is my table. On my table, there is a book. The book is red. It might sound simple, but this is exactly how fluency builds, through small daily exercises. Point 5. The struggle of comparison. Comparison is another enemy. You see someone speaking fluent English, and you feel small. You think, they are so good, and I am so weak. But remember this: you are not in competition with anyone else. The only competition is with your past self. Think of learning English like running a marathon. Everyone runs at their own speed. Some people are ahead, some are behind, but the important thing is, you are still running. As long as you keep moving forward, you are winning. So instead of comparing, get inspired. If someone speaks well, learn from them. Ask, what techniques do they use? And then apply those techniques in your own way. 6. Lack of consistency. The final struggle we will talk about today is consistency. Many learners start with excitement. They buy books, download apps, make big plans. But after 1 week, after 1 month, the excitement fades. Life gets busy, and practice stops. The truth is, consistency is the key. It is better to practice 15 minutes every day than 3 hours once a week. Small daily actions beat big irregular actions. Think of English like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 3 hours once a week. You brush for 2 minutes every day. That is why your teeth stay healthy. In the same way, if you give English a little time every day, your fluency will stay healthy and keep growing. How do you build consistency? By making a routine. Connect English to your daily habits. For example, every morning when you drink tea, listen to an English podcast. Every night before bed, read one page of an English book. Attach English to something you already do, and it will become automatic. Now, my friends, we have looked at the major struggles: fear, forgetting words, grammar worries, lack of practice, comparison, and inconsistency. And we have seen that none of these are permanent barriers. They are only temporary roadblocks. With the right strategies, you can move past them. The most important message is this: do not stop. Even if you speak slowly, even if you make mistakes, even if you forget words, keep going. Every single sentence you speak in English is one step closer to fluency. Part 3. Welcome back, my friend. I'm so glad you're still here with me on this journey. In the last part, we talked about the importance of building daily habits, creating a supportive environment, and taking small but consistent steps toward fluency. Now, let's go even deeper. In this part, I want to focus on 3 big areas: building your vocabulary, improving your pronunciation, and starting to think in English. These 3 pillars can make a huge difference in the way you speak and understand English. 1. Building vocabulary the smart way. A lot of learners think that learning English means memorizing long lists of words from a dictionary. But here's the truth. Vocabulary is not just about knowing many words, it's about using the right words at the right time. You don't need to know 50,000 words. You just need the most common, useful, and practical ones. So how can you build vocabulary effectively? Learn words in context. Instead of memorizing isolated words, try to learn them in full sentences. For example, instead of just learning the word opportunity, learn a sentence like, "This is a great opportunity for me to improve my skills." This way, your brain remembers how the word is actually used. Use flashcards or apps. Tools like Anki, Quizlet, or even Duolingo can help you revise vocabulary regularly. Repetition is key. The more often you see or hear a word, the stronger it becomes in your memory. Focus on high-frequency words. Research shows that the top 2,000 English words cover almost 80% of everyday conversation. So instead of chasing rare and complex words, concentrate on the most useful ones. Words like actually, probably, definitely, already, exactly. These are words you'll hear all the time in movies, podcasts, and real conversations. Make personal connections. If you learn a new word, try to connect it to your own life. For example, if the word is determined, you could say to yourself, "I am determined to learn English every day, no matter what." This makes the word emotional and memorable. Remember, vocabulary learning should never feel like a burden. It should feel like adding new tools to your toolbox. Every word you learn is a tool that helps you express yourself better. 2. Improving pronunciation and accent. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Many learners worry about their accent. They think, "My English is not good because I don't sound like a native speaker." But here's the good news. You do not need to sound like an American or British person. Your goal is clarity, not perfection. People from all over the world speak English with different accents: Indian, Chinese, African, European, and that's completely fine. What matters is that others can understand you easily. So, how can you improve pronunciation? Listen carefully. The more you listen to English, the more you notice the rhythm, stress, and intonation. Pay attention to how words are stressed. For example, in the word important, the stress is on the middle. I am important. Practice shadowing. This is a powerful technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately after them, almost like an echo. You can do this with YouTube videos, podcasts, or even movies. This helps your mouth and tongue get used to the English sounds. Record yourself. Sometimes we don't realize how we sound until we hear it. Record your voice when reading a text or practicing sentences. Then compare it with a native speaker's version. This will help you spot areas to improve. Work on difficult sounds. Every language has sounds that are challenging. For Hindi speakers, for example, the V and W sounds can be tricky. Words like very and west may get mixed up. Pay special attention to these and practice slowly until they become natural. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Even if you mispronounce a word, keep speaking. Communication is more important than perfect sound. With practice, your pronunciation will improve naturally. A final tip: speak with confidence. If you speak softly and with hesitation, even correct pronunciation may sound unclear. But if you speak with energy and confidence, people will understand you much better. 3. How to think in English. This is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Many learners say, "I translate every sentence from my language to English in my head before speaking." That takes too much time. If you feel the same, you're not alone. Thinking in English is the ultimate goal, but it takes practice. Here are some simple ways to train your brain to think in English. Start with single words. For example, when you see a pen, instead of thinking, "Yaha pen yahai," and then translating to English, directly think, pen. Do this with common objects around you: table, phone, water, sky, smile. Use small sentences. For example, instead of translating "Mujhe bhook lagi hai" to English in your head, directly think, "I am hungry." Try to do this with your daily feelings and actions. I am tired. I need water. It's hot today. Narrate your day. Talk to yourself in English silently or out loud. For example, while cooking, you can think, "I am cutting vegetables. Now I am washing them. The water is cold." This way, English becomes part of your thought process. Avoid over-translation. It's okay to not know the perfect word every time. If you can't remember a word, try to describe it. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, "the thing we use when it rains." This keeps your thinking in English active. Practice with simple stories. Try retelling a short story or a movie scene in English. Don't worry about mistakes. The more you do it, the more natural it will feel. Thinking in English is not something that happens overnight. But if you practice daily, even for 5 to 10 minutes, you'll notice that after a few weeks, your brain automatically starts using English words without translating. 4. Bringing it all together. So, in this part, we explored 3 powerful areas: vocabulary, pronunciation, and thinking in English. Each of these areas supports the others. Vocabulary gives you the words to use. Pronunciation makes those words clear. Thinking in English makes the whole process faster and more natural. But here's the key: don't try to master everything in one day. Pick one area and focus on it for a week. For example, spend 1 week practicing vocabulary in context. Then, the next week, record yourself reading aloud to improve pronunciation. After that, try a week of narrating your daily life in English to train your mind. Step by step, you'll build a strong foundation. And before you know it, you'll notice yourself speaking with more confidence, more fluency, and less hesitation. I want you to remember something very important. Learning English is not a race, it's a journey. There is no finish line. Even native speakers are always learning new words, new expressions, new ways to communicate. So don't feel pressure to be perfect. Feel proud that you're improving every single day. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine speaking to someone confidently without worrying about grammar. Imagine traveling, working, or studying, and expressing yourself freely. That future version of you is possible, and it starts with the small actions you're taking right now. So keep practicing, keep building your vocabulary, keep improving your pronunciation, keep thinking in English, and most of all, keep believing in yourself. In the next part, we'll go deeper into practical conversation skills, how to start conversations, how to respond naturally, and how to keep the flow going. That's where your confidence will really shine. Stay tuned, my friend, and let's keep moving forward together.